that's it. And I got a bunch of old stuff that's already up on my site from like when CD retired and all that, and just old shit. And a lot of people on that alumni site, no one goes around to individual Facebook pages.
How are you?
Because I have time
Just
to
fine.
up.
I'll be with you just a second. Just want to visit.
Oh, yeah, don't.
Yeah,
After the holidays, it's going to be
like, what was that that does something like Gene Anderson? It's like,
okay, yeah. So, something to do after the holidays, maybe after Christmas, when we all have probably a lot of time for games. Yeah, I thought you were on it.
but I thought you meant the newsletter. That,
I don't know anything about that.
there's a alumni newsletter. And they have their quarterly
Then they'll probably be here for
year get together.
4'1".
I think it's damn.
I got this thing. I didn't think I'd use it much, but later on.
Yeah, perfect. It'll work.
Backlighting, like whatever. This is ugly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have. I still have mine with my reflector holder.
Huh, I remember that.
Probably got to change color. I'll put my white thing up here for everybody. Yeah, that's a whole different color there.
Maybe I saw it on the glass.
You hear that?
Let's go a little low tech today.
Thank you. Good to go.
Because I recently told my friends that
Hey Maya, can you do me a favor? Give me my check. I didn't get a chance if you want for myself.
Check, check, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check, 1, 2.
Perfect, thank
All
you.
right.
All right. It's 11 o'clock.
It's soaking wet. Still, I haven't had power since Monday.
Still don't?
Sunday night.
You still don't?
No, I still don't. I've been living off a generator.
Wow.
A lot of fun.
Never Hampton was trying to do the same thing. He was down, he's back at 5 o'clock yesterday.
Oh,
Still, 2 solid days.
yeah, it's not much fun. And I just went through it 2 weeks ago as well.
He's got a little dinky generator, but you know, he can take turns, you know, refrigerator, he's got a way to hot
Yeah, I have all electric heat, electric hot water heater, electric water pump for my well, and you can't run all of them or it'll shut off. You know, your hot water heaters are dead short. So I heat it up and then I turn it off because it's insulated, and it usually holds hot water pretty well for 48 hours. But I have to shut everything else off to heat the water up. Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, boy.
Electric everything. I have gas in the house, but nothing runs off gas.
Yeah. Just guessing.
Now after Boston College, I'm still trying to catch up. And my wife just her son through government. $50,000 a year.
Being successful, you have what, $200,000 a year sacrifice? Sorry to hear
Oh God.
Hey, we were, Ann's son got married at St.
Oh really? Good.
It's Ann summed it up as best you can. It was at the beginning of October. It was, considering what's all going on, it's scary as well. Okay. Whoa! Yeah, I'm waiting on the witness to walk over. Are you guys, is anyone live streaming? Yes. Everyone's live streaming? Okay.
Turn off on time.
All right. Let me let my guy know that. We'll be out in a second. Give us a few minutes. I'm still waiting there. Yeah.
No problem. It's like summer out here.
Right.
Considering, with like pieces of parts from everywhere.
Is Cliffy still working days over there? Cliff Banks?
You know, they're starting to shoot hours. We just put we are out 5 a.m. She's got a nice script.
Wow. So he's put her at 5
They
a.m.
pick some things up. One gal, she's been up for quite a while.
I've been doing that for a long time. Yeah, right when Jimmy left and I took his shift, and then Jeff that day was, well, I don't want you working that shift. I'm taking that shift for you. And you know, ever since then, that was the end of it for me.
We just put vacations. We're in the process of it. That's what it is.
Well, when you see Leah tell her she has more than one eye on, tell her I said, that's like never get any sleep anyway. It's classic. Change it, right. Well, I will say this, our contract over there is still better than you think.
What's up, buddy? I'm good, brother. How are you? Good. Good to see you, bro. How you feel? All right, good, bro. Yeah. This right here is like, it's frustrating because I'm trying to figure out how is it that city officials are not tying in like so much of what people have been complaining about, you know, and I'm speaking with regards to having these police agencies that exist within the city that are not subject to the same rules and so forth. So they feel no compulsion to be transparent, you know what I mean, and release the video. They feel no compulsion in regards to that, and just the fact that they would even have had body cam footage if they were up under the same rules of Cleveland Division of Police, and they don't, which all that is just problematic, and this allows them the opportunity to say, okay, let's take a look at the video and let's figure out some plausible, you know, lies, you know, that we can put forth, you know.
Yeah, well, I guess they usually respond to things by just sort of saying, well, it happened to give it time,
Right.
let it go away. But yeah, I mean, most places, they would know that this is
You know what? I know it. It's kind of like what I kind of call the Frank Jackson effect, and that's because Frank Jackson, at first you did hear from him more, but then by his second term, he did less, and then after that even less, but he just would not comment on things, and that was like his way of dealing with stuff. And, you know, with the assumption that this is going to blow over.
That's why I was picking everything up.
Is it live streaming already?
Yes. Yeah, they're recording that.
I appreciate that, but you know.
Hello.
That I don't.
You might think yourself.
There was 2.5 men episodes about that. Charlie's nephew was out with the next door neighbor. Charlie's trying to figure out how ultimately, Ronnie, I'll either have to get a copy of your video or a copy, you get a copy of mine, whatever time code. I prefer my video just because I might have exposure a little better. That kind of stuff. Yeah, that is hard to, you can,
The closer to the microphones, the better. Okay, thank you.
we're ready.
Good morning, everyone. Stanley Jackson, managing partner of the Cochran firm Cleveland. I'm here today because we have breaking news on some of the information we were able to find during our investigation of the Arthur Keith murder here at King Kennedy. We were able to ascertain through our investigation, and as I told you, we would be relentless and unrelenting in investigating this matter. And so we were able to find out the officer who killed Arthur Keith. The officer's name is James Griffith, badge 89. He's been an officer since 1992. I spoke with you guys before about professionalism. Unfortunately, this officer has been an officer for quite some time, and we expected him to be professional on that day. And considering the circumstances, we believe that there was a miscarriage of justice. Today we also have some individuals that we were able to contact, witnesses who were there prior to the shooting, during the shooting, and after the shooting. And so they will speak with you today about what they saw. We are very adamant about getting this video. Right where it happened, there was a video that was right over the situation that happened. And the person who will be speaking with you today actually lives underneath that video. So their apartment is right there. So they were outside, they actually saw it, and the camera gives a bird's eye view of what happened. And so I'm going to let the family talk. Today we have Ms. Givner, Patricia Givner, and we also have the sister of Arthur Keith.
Go on over the middle, thank you.
I really don't have much to say, but I just want justice for my brother. He didn't deserve what happened to him. My brother may have done what he did in his life, but he didn't deserve to be. He didn't deserve to be shot. and kill where he was born and raised. I just want this officer to get what's coming for him, because my brother, like I keep saying, my brother did not deserve that. Now I have to go the rest of my life without seeing him. I see him every day. My mom is without a kid, her first son, because of Officer 89. Just know, Officer 89, we gonna get justice for Arthur Keith, and that's period.
We just want to make sure you aware. The CMHA is not being transparent. They know what happened. They're pushing it over to Cleveland. Cleveland's pushing it back to them. And we're not going to stand for it. If you are wrong, be accountable for your actions. Put it out there, because his family is torn up. We're hurt. This community is hurt. The people that live here are hurt. These children are traumatized, and no one seems to care. No one wants to put an effort into this in this community, and we're not going to stand for it. You councilmen, we're putting you on warning right now. If you're not going to help this community, if you're not going to help these children, you are here to serve and protect. If you're not going to do it, you will be out of office. We will hold everyone accountable, not only the officer, but CMHA for covering this up, not being transparent, and Cleveland police, because you know they're wrong. They know it's wrong. It's not right, and we're not going to stand for it. We're not going away. We're going to stand here. Arthur death he did not die in vain. We don't want another child to go through what my sister is going through, and my niece and my nephew, because they've lost a brother, a family member, her son. You cannot replace a person when you kill them. It is not replaceable. You know it's not right. So stand up and do the right thing for the community which you're supposed to serve and protect. Thank you.
So, we all remember the Tamir Rice case, right? And 4 days after the Tamir Rice shooting, the City of Cleveland and Cleveland Police Department actually released a video. And it was a pretty damning video. And they knew they were going to be scathed over it. They knew they were going to be, criticized heavily over it. And they still released the video. There's no precedence at this point, considering there is an investigation, to not release the video at this point, because it would objectively show what happened on that day. And we're going to be relentless in getting that video, and we expect CMHA to be professional enough to release that video. It's been a while, it's been too long. The video can really shed some light on what happened on that day, but more importantly, we have eyewitnesses who were there. Step up. This young man, Jazir Melton, was actually there on that day, and he gave us a pretty good account of what took place. He actually saw it as it was happening and after Mr. Keith died. Can you tell us what happened on that day?
Alright, so before the incident, I just got back with my sister. So I come to the house, I take the trash out. As I'm walking back from the trash, I see all the police coming around. So I go in the house, put the trash can, I come back on the porch, and then 3 police cars put in the parking lot. And then 2 police cars, people who was in the police cars got out and 1 stayed in. The person who shot him had his gun out already the whole time, and one police officer was reading the plates. And then the police officer who shot him, he had the gun pointed inside the car. Then he opened up the passenger door. Then he get in and point the gun towards him and freeze or something. And then Arthur tried to get out the car, and then he tried to run. That's when you heard 5 gunshots. And then I run in the house, and I cracked the door open. Then I could still see him running past, and I could tell my family and stuff what happened. And then we all come outside, and then we see him on the ground. You can see the spit and stuff coming out of his mouth with his hands tied behind his back with the I forgot what it's called, the cuffs. And then we asked him, what did you shoot him for? He said he had a gun. He got a gun in his hand, just holding it. Don't know how to hold it. And he said he just kept repeating, he got a gun, he had a gun. He on the ground the whole time, we don't see no gun. They didn't try to help him until the more police cars pulled up. And then when he was on, no reason he couldn't, no thing he couldn't have no gun because his pants were all the way down to his feet. Everybody who was out there would have seen it was over 30 people out there after the incident. And then,
Thank you.
that's all.
Thank you. Now we have, okay. So now we have Richard Starr, who is the director of Boys and Girls Club King Kennedy. And so the reason that we're here is because this is a place that is a safe haven for most of the kids in this community. This is a place that Arthur Keith frequented and was very active in this community, more importantly, very active in this facility. We all know what the Boys and Girls Club is about. And these kids were here. This is a safe place. This is where they were. Part of what's interesting about Arthur Keith and this building and the Boys and Girls Club is that the officers at CMHA, when they become officers and they get introduced to this community, they actually come to this building and meet the kids in the community. And at one point, they also have a session where the kids can voice their opinion about what's kind of happening in the community, you know, how they feel about their policing and things of that nature. And Arthur Keith was a part of that. He was a vocal part of that, and he very well had seen and known this officer prior to the day that the officer took his life. Richard Starr?
It's just sad that we're here for this occasion involving Arthur Keith being gunned down. I've had the pleasure of working for Boys and Girls Club for the last 12 years. Also, I was a club kid in the same shoes as Arthur, coming to King Kennedy Boys and Girls Club, born and raised in King Kennedy. Right now, involving Arthur, the thing that is sad that tomorrow will be 3 weeks that we still have not received no information regarding what happened to Arthur. It's sad that when an African-American black male is gunned down, there's always not a thorough investigation or answers aren't always left on the table. In our community, and you talk about this COVID and everything's been shut down, look at the numbers of how many people have been killed in this community from different violence. Today you stand here and an officer have really shot and killed Arthur, one of the babies, one of our youth, 19 years old, with a whole life in front of him. You have to understand, his mama, Miss Rita, his father, his sister, his brother, they haven't smiled and been able to sleep for 3 weeks. And we still do not have an autopsy report. We still do not have a full investigation. We still asking for answers. We still have cameras that record everything when the police, if CMHA wants to get justice for something. We want justice for Arthur. Arthur cannot just be gunned down in vain like that and no question has not been asked. Nothing has not been done. It's been 3 weeks come tomorrow. Too long. We have almost all type of kids who are headed to the Boys and Girls Club who witnessed this. We have children. We have children we seeking out for counselors, mentors, because we have children who are replaying and drawing pictures and having conversations about watching Arthur get killed by CMHA police. And we talk about community policing that we do in our club, and we partnership with the CMHA. Chief Gonzalez, we've been working together for so many years. I'm just asking Chief Gonzalez, I'm asking Cleveland, Calvin Williams, I'm asking, can you please help us seek justice about what really happened? We just want to know what happened. If there's dashboards camera, if there's body camera, if there are cameras that's on our buildings. There's been cameras up at CMHA and King Kennedy since 2008. Live where Arthur incident took place where he was murdered at by an officer is a stationary camera. Are you telling me this camera was not working at the time or it just worked certain times? We just want a full investigation. We just want justice for Arthur Keith. I love you, Arthur. Your family is not going to sleep. We're not going to let this get swept under the rug. It's been 3 weeks too long come tomorrow that Arthur Keith was murdered in his own neighborhood, in his own backyard, in his own place that he grew up at. Why? We just want a full investigation and justice for Arthur Keith. We love you. We appreciate everyone. But this just don't make sense that Arthur Keith was gunned down and we still asking for an autopsy report 3 weeks later. We still don't have questions. We still don't have answers. We still just out here trying to figure out what's next. But at the end of the day, we need a full investigation, and what's been recorded and what was seen should come out. God is with us. We're going to work together as a family, and we're going to seek justice. I love you. I love you, Arthur. I love you.
So, once again, as you can see, we have a community that's hurting, right? And CMHA has at least a piece of the puzzle that will help us try to figure out what happened on that day. We have, witnesses. We actually have a lot more witnesses, but most of them were kids who are currently in virtual schooling. But the reality is that this happened almost 3 weeks ago, and it should not take this long to share information so that we can get to the bottom of what happened. And I will tell you this, once again, the Cochran firm, we are very aggressive in our investigation. We were able to determine who the officer was actually 48 hours after the incident took place. And so I want you guys to remember that name so that we can put a face to the name, put a name to the face of the gentleman or the officer who was supposed to be professional on that day that took Arthur Keyes' life. At this time, we'll entertain a few questions.
What is Cleveland police saying the holdup for the video is?
Ironically, we haven't gotten a response from the Cleveland Police Department, CMHA, or the director of CMHA. There's been absolutely no response.
We had some people speak, especially a young man. If you can get the correct spelling of his name.
Yes. Jazir, spell your name.
Jahzir Milton, Melton.
And say your name again?
Jahzir Milton.
Could you describe a little bit more what happened when the officer walked up to the car? Was he on the passenger side? And then when Arthur got out of the car, where did he get out of the car?
So it's a van. So the other officer was behind, and it was only the one who shot him. He opened up. So it's a passenger door, and then it's a van, so the van door open. So he's standing like this. When he got the gun on, he's saying, stop, and I focused towards him. Then Arthur tried to run. Arthur tried to run when he seen the gun and stuff. So that's when you just heard gunshots.
And it was out of the same side of the van?
Yeah.
Where the officer opened?
Yeah.
And then he ran around it?
No, he ran because the van was posting this way. But where he got shot, he ran like this way. Towards the from the van.
What was your reaction when you first heard that Arthur had a gun and you said you never saw a gun? Give me your thoughts when you heard that they said Arthur had a gun.
I got mad at the point because he did not have no gun. And then he was like, you pointed the gun at him. I seen the whole thing. He did not point no gun at him, no nothing. The police officer said he was asleep when he was inside. If he was asleep, how can he put a gun at you? If you walk up to the car and he just woke up, it wouldn't be enough time for him to point that.
For you, what else have you requested from either Cleveland Police or CMHA that you have not received aside from the video and an autopsy report?
So we've requested, video, obviously autopsy report. We've requested dash cam. We requested radio surveillance, when they were communicating back and forth with each other. The normal things that you normally request. To be frankly honest with you, I could name a laundry list of things that we requested because we always do in our investigation. We're pretty intense about that and very thorough about it. But the reality is that we haven't even received a response to say that we're not giving it to you because we're a pending investigation, or we're not giving it to you because the sense of whatever it is. The reality is that we haven't even received an acknowledgement that they actually received the request. So we've made multiple requests, like I said, to the different agencies. We are going to turn the heat up and be more aggressive this week. We expect to see additional results like we were able to find out about the officer. We will get the information. We'd like for them to cooperate, but even if they don't, we'll still get the information.
In the age of cell phones, has anyone independently sent you a video? Maybe you couldn't see everything, but maybe hear something in reference to this case. Do you have any other than eyewitness accounts? Do you have any video at all?
Yes, so we were able, during our investigation, like I said, we were able to get some of that information. We have to be able to authenticate it first, so we're kind of going through that process. And when we do get through that process, we'll show that information. But we do have additional information. So most of the stuff that we're requesting and asking, we probably already have a lot of it, but we want to get it from them to show that it's been authenticated, the chain of custody, things of that nature. But we'll be sharing additional information soon.
So you do have cell phone video of the shooting? Is that what you're saying?
No, we have additional video that may shed a little light on what's going on, but we've got to be able to authenticate it first to make sure it wasn't altered or anything of that nature.
To your knowledge, are police disputing the fact that the victim was shot in the back, or have you had any confirmation about that yet?
I haven't had any confirmation other than the witnesses that were there that saw the shooting. I believe there was some video out there that kind of showed Arthur Keith, maybe the front of his body, as they were trying to help him on one of the social media sites. That has since been taken down. We've been able to grab it. Like I said, we're still trying to authenticate. That's one of the things we're trying to authenticate, right? But it shows his chest open. It doesn't show any bullet entries. It doesn't show any blood. So we are under the assumption that he had been shot in the back. This young man saw the entire thing and saw him run and saw him running away as he was shooting. As the officer was shooting. So, however, we could dispel all of this if we have an autopsy, right? That should be released. I know it's been 3 weeks tomorrow. We could have, the video that could be released could also dispel and answer some of the questions that we all have. So, once again, like I said, we'll get the information. We'd like for them to come forward and share it, though.
Do the delays heighten your suspicion?
Yes. You would think so. Once again, Tamir Rice situation, very bad shooting. It was really, and Cleveland police, they've had their own issues. They've been under fire, right? They're under consent decree, and they still released the video within 4 days. And it was very damning to them. So we would assume that even with Cleveland police doing the investigation, if they released it then, why wouldn't they release the video now, since they're kind of in control?
Did they say what the holdup was for the autopsy report, and has the family been able to bury their loved one yet?
Yes, there was a funeral last week, or the week before last, and then a repast that was had here. So they have had their moment with Arthur Keith. We have not received any information on why it's taking so long. But once again, we'll get the autopsy report very soon.
Is there a photo of Mr. Keith you're able to share with the media so we can have a picture of him?
Yes. So when we're done, I'll share that information with you. My press secretary will send it to you as well. Any additional questions? Once again, thank you guys for coming out. More importantly, let's continue to share the Arthur Keith story. In a community like this, there's no way that this should happen. We know that this is a community that's often, marginalized. They're underrepresented. As you can see right here, we have the Boys and Girls Club, and many of you, like myself, tried to even walk to the front door. This is a CMHA building. Boys and Girls Club is actually leasing it from them. This is a CMHA building, and there's no ice. Kids are trying to get in here to do their virtual learning, and right before the interview, I almost hurt myself trying to even make it over here. So you can't even shovel. That's totally disrespectful. We want to hold this, CMHA accountable. We expect that you guys will continue to share this story and to make sure that we continue to put pressure so that the right things can be done for all people, not just people in other communities, but in this community as well. Thank you.